like buttons.
Do I start? Want me to start? So good evening, everyone. I wish I could see your faces so that I know whom I'm speaking to. Brinda, Srijana, Hitisha, Meenal. If you all can come on video, it would be great. Yeah, thank you, Brinda. Hi. Thank you.
I'll just brief our audience to our lovely guest today. We have in room with us Kiran Choudary ma'am. She is the visionary and the founder of Sparkles Montessori Schools, and she has been in the field of education for around 3 decades now. She's worked tirelessly to consistently provide education and good education to each one of us. She makes sure that Sparkles is the only chain of its kind and has unique blend of Montessori and Glen domain methods of education. In her pursuit to make the world a better place, she has designed various textbooks, workbooks, and the entire curriculum for various international schools, apart from also conducting training on skill development. She's conducted numerous workshops in well known MNCs on effective parenting. She defines, in complete sense, what it means to be an influencer and a generous, one of a kind educator who is doing much more than just in her part for making tomorrow a world's better place. It is our absolute pleasure and honor to have you in the room with us, ma'am. The stage is all yours, and we are looking forward to hearing amazing tips and tricks from you.
Thank you so much, Najmi, for those lovely words. Okay, now I think something else that I can add to this to introduce myself is I'm a mother of 3 grown up, 2 married boys and a girl. And I'm a grandmother of a 1.5-year-old. This is something that I'm very proud of. And I, like she said, I have been in this field of education, and I also, my passion is, I have 2 passions. One is children and one is education. The second is education. So these 2 are my passion. Anything to do with children education, I'm there. So I have always done workshops for parents separately and students separately. Now here, I don't know, I think some of you might be students, some of you. So this is quite a challenge, because if you look at it, we cannot, I always tell parents, don't bring your children to the workshop, because they will listen to me and they'll come and tell you, oh, what did auntie tell you that day? This is not what you're supposed to do. And then the same happens with children when parents are around. they get, they are held accountable by their parents. So anyway, I'll see what I can do with this mixed group. So let me start sharing. So we talk about the top habits or secrets or whatever you want to call it of successful families. Now, before we start, I just want, I remember this quote by Leo Tolstoy. In his epic novel, Anna Karenina, he says, happy families are all alike, but every unhappy family is unhappy in its own way. So what did he mean by that? What he meant was that every happy family, the members of that family have certain characteristics, certain traits which make them happy. So those are universal traits and universal characteristics. But unhappy families, in their own way, they are unhappy. They create their own unhappiness. They create their own misery. Okay, let's look at, when I say successful families, what do we mean by that? Let's look at successful first. The dictionary meaning of successful I've taken up. It means accomplishing a desired aim or result, right? And the dictionary, I've taken both dictionary meanings, a group of 1 or more parents and their children living together as a unit as families. Now, what are we looking at when we say successful families? We are looking at a group of people who are accomplishing a desired aim or result. And how can we accomplish this aim or result? It is when we have an aim, when we have a goal, when we have an objective. As a family, we should have an objective. Okay, this is where we want our family. And it is not an individual aim or objective. It's not like I decide, okay, my family, will be successful only if they do this. It's not mine. It is the entire family who has to decide what is their definition of success. And then we all strive towards that. That is what we mean by successful families. And each one of us will have a different definition. Trust me, there are hundreds and thousands of definitions of success. If you ask 100 people, you'll get at least 80 of them, 80 different versions of success. Now let's look at this. Can somebody tell me what you see, read here, what you can read here, what you can see here? Somebody can, Rajvi, can we unmute a couple of them?
Sure, I will just do that. Yes, they can unmute themselves now.
In this whole scenario, where does family feature? I want you to read out what you see here. What are the different things you pick up from here?
Work, play, family, friends,
Entertainment, study, hobbies, work,
hobbies.
play, friendship.
So you'll
Work,
see
play.
that. Yeah.
The work, play is.
Thank you for reading that. So there is work, there is play, there's entertainment, study, hobbies, and family is there, but it's lost somewhere in all this, isn't it? And that's what it is with most of us. I'm not saying don't do your work well. I'm not saying don't have entertainment, don't play, don't study, don't spend time with friends. All of this is important. Every single thing here is important. We must focus on our work. We must have time to play, time for our friends, for studying. Everything is important. But where is family lost in all this? At the same time, if we can give family, if you see, if family can be given that importance that it deserves, it's enough. We can have everything, what we call an and life. Most of us think, okay, I can either do my work very well or I can focus on my family and give everything to my family. That is not the case. We can have an and life. It is not about this or that. It is about this and that. There is a way that we can strike a balance. And how do we do that? How do we make sure that in all this world which is full of so many things that we have to do, so many areas of our life, how do we make sure that we are able to give time to family, that we are able to give the importance to family? That is by setting aside family time. There is a saying I had read long back when I was a child, that the family that eats together stays together. So I always feel that's such a beautiful thing, because if we can take out time in this busy world, I know it is not possible for you to have every single meal with your family. But if we can take out time where we are having at least one meal, where the entire family sits together, imagine how wonderful that is. What a bonding there would be between the family members, where we all sit together, eat, and while we're having maybe breakfast, or if morning times are not possible, maybe dinner, if we are all out to work, and we sit together, we share our day, we tell each other what's happened through our day, we talk about our challenges, we talk about our successes, something good that happened, something bad that happened, people we have met, what are our experiences there. Imagine how much learning there would be for the children and parents from each other. We would begin to understand each other, right? So eating together is a very good habit. Make it a ritual. It should be like a family tradition that every single day, one meal. Now, let's say the family is not living together. Maybe once a month or whenever you meet, one meal a day, definitely to banta hai, one meal a day for the family. I believe that the family that laughs together also stays together.
True.
When we are able to laugh at ourselves, when we are able to laugh with our family, then there is no significance. Oh, she said this to me. Oh, she laughed at me. Oh, he made fun of me. All that won't come in when we are able to laugh at ourselves, laugh at circumstances. You know, this reminds me of recently sometime in March, my mom, she's 80-year-old, and she had a paralytic stroke. My sister came down to see her, and all of us, one by one, there was a caretaker to take care of her. She had COVID, and then everybody tested positive for COVID. Now, it was quite a bad situation, I should say, for an outsider. They were all like, oh my God, mom, dad, my aunt, my sister, and me, all 5 of us. One by one, we tested COVID positive. And imagine the caretaker left. There was no cook, there was no maid, nobody, just the 5 of us, COVID positive people. And we were the 2 youngsters, my sister and I, young old people who were taking care of the older people. Now, if it was not for humor, we would not have survived it. We could laugh at it and say, oh my God, Bhagwan, I hope you all understand Hindi, because this saying is in Hindi. We said, Bhagwan jab bhi deta hai, chappar phad ke deta hai. Ye bhi sab kuch chappar phad ke diya, that we all got COVID. We don't have helpers. We have to take care of everything. So each time we could come up with some humor to carry us through. And that's how we sailed through. And then very quickly, all of us recovered, actually. If you look at it, 80 plus, all my parents and aunt, all of them recovered quickly. So remember, I can't call you parents, because parents, children, all the participants, laugh together. Have the humor in everything. Another thing that I think is the family that plans together stays together. When you sit down and make your plans together, there's so much of bonding happening. Usually in some families, it is the father or the mother or the grandparents, they decide, they plan. It could be a vacation. They plan for shifting the house. They plan for which house to go to. They plan for when the wedding should be. Everything is planned, and then the others are informed. But if we can sit together and plan, imagine what a wonderful thing that would be. If the children could also, and when I say children, I don't mean only the grown-up children, even the younger children can very well be a part of the plan, because they feel so good when they are given that importance, and they are given that listening to what their opinion is. The family that debates together stays together. When we are able to have the communication, when we are able to have the freedom to be able to debate, say, no, this, I think this is what it is, this is my point of view, and I'm able to give my reason for why. We're able to debate, whether it's a youngest child in the family or the oldest, if we're able to debate, that I think is such a wonderful bonding. It develops a bonding, and when you have a bonding, you're able to debate. So it's a circle. So I love people to have their say, is what I would say. In a family, sometimes children also become like, no, you don't know. There are children, as they grow older, they feel, oh, mama has become redundant, papa is redundant, they don't know anything. Today's world is very different. We know what it is. So they want no discussions about this kind of. So if each one of us can be open to debate, to discuss about things, I think that would be a wonderful space to be. And the family that takes decisions together stays together. All these are some things that I have practiced throughout with my children, where there has been, we have always taken our decisions together. We have made our plans together. They had the freedom to choose, which is why my children have always been my best friends. And today I'm proud to say that my daughters-in-law are my best friend. I have 2 daughters-in-law, and they are my best friends. Sometimes I tease my sons. I say, sorry guys, till now you are my best friends. Now your wives are my best friends. My daughter-in-law is my best friend, I tell them. So that is the beauty of having this kind of a relationship, where we are all together into this. The family that plays together stays together. Are we able to play together? Are we, when play does not mean going into the cricket ground and playing cricket only, or outdoors. It could be like, I'll tell you my situation. My parents are 80 and they can't go out much. My mom especially has some injury in her brain where she can't function normally. But what we do is every single day, it's a ritual in our family. After dinner or before dinner, we sit and we have a round of cards. We play cards. And it makes my mother so happy, because that's the only thing she can do. She can focus only on a few things, and that's one of the things. It gives her so much pleasure to sit and play cards. Sometimes, yeah, I might have work and I might feel, oh, I have to go. But then the pleasure that I see on her face, it makes up for all that time that I'm missing out on the work that I have to do. I can always come back and do my work. Maybe I'll work a little later. So whatever the age, you can play together. When we were kids, I remember my mom used to sit with us. We used to play Ludo, Snakes and Ladder, business. We had a range of board games. We used to have one by one, we used to take out, and all of us, my sister, my mom, and me, we three used to play together. And it was so much fun. Those are the memories we have of our childhood. We don't remember the things, most of us actually, we never remember the things that our parents bought for us, but we remember the times that they spent with us, the time that we spent with our parents. When children get married and go away, those are the memories that parents have left with them, that we used to play together. My daughter used to take me out. And so these are the things that we will all cherish in the long run. So everybody, remember to play with your family and have fun. You might be of a different generation. You might have different interests, right? But, okay, I think Rajvi has got locked out. Admit her. You might have different interests. When we are saying fun, it could be different things. It could mean as simple as watching TV. Now, my daughter is 26. She has different interests. She watches some Netflix series, which I'm not at all interested in. I watch my own serials. But there is this serial called Gilmore Girls, which both of us religiously watch together. It's about a mother and daughter. And we make sure that we watch it every day. We used to. Now, when there's not enough time, we watch it at least twice or thrice a week. We sit together, and there's such a bonding which happens. We laugh at it. We comment on things. We discuss what's happening there. So that gives a bonding. Let's say we want to go out. We might suddenly decide, okay, we're getting bored. Come on, let's go. We go and do some window shopping. We might not be interested in shopping or buy anything, but we'll just go window shop and have fun there, have something to eat and come back. So those are the things that we need to do, fun things that we need to do together as a family. And with all these, I can also say, sorry. That the family that learns together stays together. This is such an important thing, because of course we are learning from each other. I learn from my children, they learn from me. All of us are learning from each other, whatever the age, right? But there is some learning that we can consciously do together. I remember when my daughter was around 15 or 16, or maybe even younger than that, we had bought this book called Who Will Cry When You Die by Robin Sharma. And she is also a voracious reader, so am I. And we decided, by mistake, we happened to buy two of them. We said, okay, let's both read the same books, one chapter every day, and we'll follow it. So he has given 100 plus ways in which you can be remembered after you die. So we used to read each chapter each day, and then we used to together decide, okay, what will we do? We used to hold each other accountable. Okay, did you do this today? And then we started journaling. We used to write a journal together. I mean, our own journals, of course. So these are things which come up when you learn together. There's so much fun. Learning is also, they say learning is easy when learning is fun. So it becomes so easy when you're making it fun for yourself, rather than saying, okay, I have to read this book. And with all this, when you're spending time together, one thing is a must. One-on-one bonding time is a must. You must spend time with individual people in your family at least once in a week. If you are a mother, spend time with your child, each child individually. If you're if you're a parent, with your spouse individually, with your parents individually, each parent individually, because that one bonding is something which is out of this world. You can't even imagine how beautiful that is. When each month, I used to do this before my mom got so sick that she's not able to move out of the house. I used to take my mom out, just maybe shopping. My dad loves to go to hotels, so we used to go have food outside and come once a month. With my daughter, like I said, I used to do this. When my sons come down from there in the US, when they come down, we do fun things. When I go there, we do fun things together. So one-on-one, even my daughter-in-law, this is a tradition we have made in our family, that each person spends one-on-one time. So my daughter-in-law, she tells me, Atta, I will take care of the house. You please go with Rahul. You have bonding time with your son now. We spend a lot of time together. He hardly gets time, so go out. Imagine how beautiful it is when your daughter-in-law tells you, go have fun with your son. Isn't that a wonderful space to be in? So one-on-one, if we do these things, spend time with the family, set aside family time and do these things and have a one-on-one, I'm telling you, the way we will connect will be so beautiful that there will be, I'm not saying there will not be any fights, any disagreements, everything will be hunky-dory and it'll be a beautiful, like we see in the serials, Kyunki Saas Bhi Kabhi Bahu Thi and all these serials. Our family is not going to be like that. We will have our arguments, we will have our, sometimes we might get angry with each other. There's so many things which might happen. But at the core of it, there will be that strong bonding which will hold us together. That is what I'm talking about when I say the bonding time. Now, what are the keys to successful families? I've spoken about so many things. Again, you might be wondering, what are these keys? I think there are certain things in general to be applied. Now, so far, does anybody have anything to say?
I think all that we can say as of now is that we're loving it. We didn't realize these things on a daily basis, but all of these actually make sense when we think about it. That the bonding time and playing together, or listening to stories together, and now I can connect that when my mother sits with me, why does she do all of these small little things, and the difference they're all making on me as an individual, my brother as an individual, and as a whole as a family. So I think these are really small things. If we start following, a lot of the things that go haywire would go in line. So yeah.
Wonderful, wonderfully expressed, Rajvi. Anybody else wants to say anything?
Minimum, oh yeah, she wanted to.
Yeah,
Actually, as a parent, I will tell you, playing with family and spending time together is something which we do.
you're muted yourself. Go ahead.
Now it's fine. You can hear?
Yes.
Yeah. So wanted to tell you it is very important to have one meal a day, and it is very important to play with a child and have, like, it's a common game, like we play sequence every night. We don't sleep without playing together, and
$60 ml.
we are very particular that we want to have a meal together. Even we wait for our child, even she's not getting up, right? She gets up around 2 o'clock nowadays because of holidays. Still, we wait for her. So, that is the starting of her day with us. And, ma'am, as you said, it is very, very important how you spend time with your family. COVID, we definitely had this thing because we were together and we were having things, many things together. But still, that friendship was not there earlier. Now we are creating what you are saying. It's like a sense of friendship in a relationship, which is very important.
Absolutely. Anybody else? I think one of you had unmuted yourself. I don't know who it was. Was it? Okay. Okay. Shall I move ahead?
Sure, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah. Now let's look at the keys to successful families.
Can I say a few words?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Yeah. See, the family that eats together stays together. This is a practice which was followed by the ex-UK Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher. Despite all the positions she held, she used to insist on this. And see, there will be debates, there will be arguments, decisions, yes. Now, more than the debates, the discussions will result in what is right. Debates only one wants to prove who is right.
Yes.
Okay, fine, next. Now, if at all, in fact, I am 64 years, not yet a mother-in-law or a grandmother. Now, what I feel, my grandmothers, they were not educated, but they always believed in give an inch, take a yard. Of course, it might not have been true with all the women, but their psychology was give an inch, take a yard. And to a large extent, this helps. And if we are able to set aside that ego in any individual, lot of issues can be settled very amicably, anywhere in life, any part of your life. So I always look at ego as edging God out.
Got it.
Huh?
Got
Yeah.
it, Brinda. Thank you so much for expressing this,
Yes, yes.
your views
Yes,
about
yes.
this. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. I'll mute.
So let's look at the keys to successful families. What are the keys? Trust is the key. Whether it is between parent and child, spouse with your spouse, with the parent with the child and child with the parent, trust is the key. Trust in your, how many of you are youngsters here? Youngsters in the sense students. You can
I
write
think
in the chat.
I'm the only student in the room. But we
Okay.
have more students.
Okay. So there's no student here. All are all parents? At least I can you tell me if you're a parent? Maybe you could put it in the chat box.
I think there's one more student. There's parent. There's a yes. So I think that's for a student or a parent. I'm still confused. Parent. Okay. Awesome.
Okay. Okay. So when it comes to parents, I always tell them one thing, that when you have brought up your child and you have given them the values, you have given them whatever. See, each parent brings up a child the best that we know. We never think, oh, no parent is going to think, oh, I'll bring up my child in a wrong way or in a bad way, right? Every parent brings up the child the way they think is the best. And we have done our best. And after that, have trust in your child. Oh, where are you going? Why are you going here? That is where the friction arises. Sit down with the child and have a talk. In case you have, when you are open parents, children will come and talk to you. You know, with my sons, I was 20 when I was married and my first son was born. So I was a very immature mother actually when he was very young. But as they grew older, the kind of acceptance that they got from me, they would come and share every single thing, right up to the first cigarette. I know the first cigarette my sons had. I know the first drink they had. I know the first girl they went out with. I know the first girl they kissed. I mean, those kind of things also, they would come and share with me because they knew there would be no judgment. I would only tell them one thing. Anything you do, moderation. Anything overdone is bad. That's all I tell them. Just tell them, draw the line. That's the only thing I said. But I trusted them to go ahead and lead their life. I was not breathing down their neck saying, oh, where are you going? Why are you going? If that was the case, then they would never have come back and shared with me. So trust your children. Respect is the key. Now, many of us want respect, but we don't respect the other people in the family. My way or the highway. Some of us are like that, right? How many of you are like that? My way or the highway? There was in one of the old movies, Pakiza, there was a dialogue which said कि इस घर में लोग चलते नहीं, चाचा जी की हथेली पे रेंगते हैं. That means they crawl on Chacha Ji's palm. That's how much control he had over everybody. So where is the respect there? How are we respecting? Even a small 2-year-old, we must show respect, because when there is respect, the child learns to respect. Now let's say your child has called you for something. I'm just giving an example for parents. I don't know how many parents are here, but your child has called you for something and say, "Ha, beta, I'm coming in 5 minutes." You know this work that you're having will take half an hour, but you say 5 minutes to get him off your back. Now, what are you teaching the child? First thing, you're not respecting your word. You're not respecting the child's time. You don't have any respect. So what is the message you're giving the child? Indirectly or directly, you're giving the child that it's okay. But if you can, if you know that's going to take 10 minutes, tell them I'll take 10 minutes. And in 10 minutes, if you come to know in the 7th minute, you come to know that, no, I'm not going to be able to finish this. Go to the child or call the child. I'm not able to finish this. Can I finish this work? Imagine how respected the child feels, how validated the child feels when you are able to tell that. Instead of just assuming that, oh, he will wait. So, and it is not only about waiting, parents. I mean, participants. I don't know. I have this habit of saying parents. I know some of you might not be parents. It's not just about that. When you look at youngsters today, they might just walk out of the house. I have friends whose children just walk out of the house. They don't even tell the parent they're going. They don't tell them when they're coming back. Nothing. So where is the respect there? This is a house. It's not a, what do you call it? Somewhere that you are paying and staying. It's not a paying guest lodge or accommodation. We are living together as a family, and we need to have that respect. That respect will come if we are giving respect. Automatically, we'll get respect back. And respect does not mean bowing to everything and listening to everything and anything the person says. Then you become a doormat. There is a fine line between respect, showing respect, and bowing down to everything. Participants. So I'm not talking about that. That is one thing you have to. Your self-respect is something that you must. And if suppose that there are times when my children also might say something, and if I feel disrespected, I tell them. I don't tell them you were so bad. How could you say it? I tell them I felt very disrespected when you said that. I felt very invalidated when you said that. And immediately we are back on the same plane. And I'm sorry, Mom, I didn't realize that. Sometimes without unknowingly. It's not that they want to hurt us or they want to say something. They say it, but if you don't voice it, they don't even know that they've hurt you. So we must voice our feelings, whether it's as parents or as children. Children also, they can voice. Why not? That, Mama, you said that and I was very upset. When you, in front of my friends, when you said this to me, I was so embarrassed. Because the mother or father might not even have realized that they said that and that it embarrassed the child. So respect is the key. Anytime you're talking or saying something, remember to have respect in your mind. Am I respecting this person in my family, my child or my parent or my spouse? Am I respecting is what you have to ask yourself. Acceptance. Very, very important. We usually don't accept ourselves or others. We have a fixed idea. A person should be like this. A mother has to be like this. A father has to be like this. A child has to be like this. A grandparent has to be like this. We have certain fixed ideas and we want that person to show up in that way. We do not accept the person the way the person is or the way the person is not. We want them to be a certain way. All our life's frictions start because of a lack of acceptance. Lack of acceptance of people the way they are and the way they are not, lack of acceptance of circumstances. Now, my mom, she had a paralytic stroke. So her brain, she has got some internal bleeding. Initially, we were a little upset. Then we said, okay, we accepted. When we accepted, we were able to give her also so much more happiness. We were able to make her happy because the minute we went into, oh my God, how can this be? Why did she have to have this? She was such a strong person. When we thought back to her past and we were comparing it, there was no acceptance. There was so much of unhappiness and misery there. And for a short period, we went through that. Then my sister and I, we spoke it out. We said, this is what is so. This is on our plate right now. And this is what we need to accept. We accepted it. Now we are able to be so jovial, even with my mom. Sometimes she understands, sometimes she doesn't. But it's okay. She sees the happiness on our faces and she's happy. But when we were miserable, she was also like, oh, because of me, everybody's so unhappy. Whenever she was in her senses, she would feel bad that we were all unhappy because of her. So acceptance, and I'm not talking about those extreme situations. My mother's is an extreme situation. What I'm saying is every one of us should accept the other. Let's say, my son had a habit of going out with friends. and he would come back sometimes very late. Will my cribbing and saying, how can you do this, will it make a difference? This was long back when he was in college. It would not make a difference. So what did I do? I accepted that he loves spending time with his friends, maybe more than he loves to spend time with me. That's also something we have to accept. And then what I did is, I told him, please bring your friends home. So whenever they wanted to party, they would come home. All his friends used to enjoy. I used to be in my room and say, okay, you all enjoy yourself. They had a gala time and I knew they were safe. So acceptance is very, very important. Whatever it is, good, bad, ugly, everything, accept it. I'm not saying, say, okay, it's okay. Let's say a child gets into drugs. It's not, acceptance doesn't mean you are okay with, okay, let him have his drugs. No, you accept, okay, this is what is so. And then once you accept, no, how can it be like this, will not give you any thought process where you can take action to move forward in that area. You'll be stuck there. When you accept, okay, he's doing drugs. Now what do I do? I'm talking about these extreme situations because these things do happen occasionally and then we don't know. And when I'm talking about these extremes, imagine in the simple things, how much you sweat it. There's a book called Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and it's all small stuff. Even the smallest of things. The child doesn't clean up the room, he gets so, oh my God, her room is so bad. She doesn't, when she gets married, what will she do? When my son goes to US, when he's going for his studies, when he lives in a room, what will he do? They will learn. It's good to teach them. If they do well, it's okay. And you can teach them. You can tell them that let's do this together. Acknowledging is the key. Now, all of us have our family members who have done so much for us. So much that we can't even imagine. Nobody else can do what our family does for us. Family, like in English, I watch a lot of movies. So in English, Sridevi says that family is the only place where we're not judged, where there is so much love. That is the place. But are we acknowledging the people in our family for what they're doing for us, for the value that they're adding to our lives, for what they have done for us? Are we acknowledging them? Are we showing them that we appreciate? How many of us do that? Show your parents, show your children, show your spouse how much you appreciate what they're doing for you. It doesn't cost anything and it gives them so much happiness, and the bonding that is created by that is, immeasurable. You cannot even begin to think of how close that person will feel to you when you acknowledge that, yes, this is what you have done. We are very ready to point out, oh, you did this, you should not have done this. Mistakes are pointed out so easily, but we don't acknowledge. So I tell parents, I do a lot of sessions for parents in corporates, and I tell parents one thing. Let's say somebody's come home and your child comes with a glass of water in a tray, and the child has spilled a little water. Let's say it's a 3-4-year-old child, but they want to serve the guest. What do you say? Arey beta, you have dropped the water. Can you see that almost the whole glass is full? Only a little has spilled over. We don't look at that. We only look at the little that is spilled. Next time, be careful. Why? Why not appreciate them, acknowledge them for the good job that they have done in bringing the glass and serving the guest? Same way with so many things, it happens that we don't acknowledge the good things that they do. We only point out the mistakes. That is why children and even parents, even the children do that. You said this that day. You did this. But how many children come and say, Mama, you did this for me, and I'm so proud of you for having done this, or I'm so happy that you did this for me. Once my daughter-in-law had told me that my son, I didn't know that my son even thought like that. We had a very bad patch in our family where my husband had a big loss in his business, and we were financially not doing very well. And at that time, my son was in college and he wanted a bike. So I took it on EMIs, and I struggled. Yes, I struggled, but I paid for it. So she said, Rahul always says, now he's doing well. And when he buys things, I said, "Nay, why do you want to waste money?" She says, Atta, he always says that my mother never let me want for anything. Even though we were not very well off, she made sure that we got what we wanted, what we needed, and something. Now, I couldn't provide everything that they wanted, of course, but what they were really set their heart on, I would make an effort. But I would let them know what an effort it was, because then we would sit together and decide, okay, if this is what it is. That is another thing. You must sit and discuss, especially when you have older children. Don't hide your financial situation if you're not doing well. If there is a loss, don't hide it from them. So, and the most important thing, I think, is love is the key. This is the most important thing. If there is love, acceptance will come in, trust will come in, respect will come in, acknowledge, everything comes in if there is love. But if there is bitterness, if there is, there might not be hatred, but do you know what is the opposite of love? Can anybody tell me what is the opposite of love?
Hatred.
Anybody else? Hatred. Anybody else has any other answers? It is not hatred. Opposite of love is indifference. Imagine when you become indifferent to your people. It is, I mean, there's nothing touches you. Love touches you so much. You're like so bonded. Indifference, they don't touch you. You see the person, you don't have any feelings for them. Indifference. And there are families where that has come in, because there's so much happening, so much of distance that's happened, that ultimately it's led to distance. It's led to indifference. Don't let that come into your family. Give so much love that automatically you get it back. And don't give it expecting love. Now, I have heard many parents say, oh, I have done so much, I've sacrificed so much for my children, look at them, what they're doing. And children generally ask, did I ask you to? And then the parent feels so hurt. Oh my God, look at him. He said, did I ask you? Puchta hai kya koi? I did it so selflessly. If you did it selflessly, then keep it to yourself. Do not present all the things that you did in front of a child. Say, I did this, and now you do something. There should be no expectation. I have done this program called Landmark. I don't know if you've heard of Landmark Education. It's an education, transformation education from US, which has come to India. It's a beautiful training. Today, I feel, as a grandmother, I did it in 2004. As a grandmother, I feel if I'm so active, so energetic, many parents ask me how. I feel it is thanks to the education that I had there, which lets me live an and life, which lets me do all this. In that, they say that in a relationship, how much should you give? What do you think? Let's say it's a parent and child, or a husband and wife. How much should each one give?
50,
can somebody 50? Tell me what percentage? Let's talk about percentages. Let's go to
50,
math.
50,
50-50. Yes. Okay. 50-50.
Narasa says unlimited.
That's 100%. No, I give 100%. Whatever comes from there is a bonus. Imagine if we lived like that, how wonderful that relationship would be. If each one of us gave 100%, and whatever came from there would be a bonus, right? There would be no dirt. There would not be like, okay, I'm meeting halfway and we are not meeting because we have not reached there. We would always reach the other side. So that is what we need to give in a family, 100%. So thank you so much. Like I said, I have never done any session for a mixed group. It was always been for parents or for students. I mean, I've done for teens. I've done how to effective study skills for teens. I've done different various kinds of things, time management for teens. I've done for parents. I've done for young parents, teenage parents, a lot of things I've done. Never this. So I hope I've been able to get across to you and get the message. Thank you so much. And in case any one of you would like to reach me, you can WhatsApp me on this number. anything else. So now I would like to keep this open for anything that you want to say, you want to ask me. I'm not an expert, but I can share my experiences.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I actually, all of these points, if I look back, some of them really, I'm understanding a few things. Like staying in hostel, we never got a lot of family time. And sometimes you miss it, but sometimes you see the positive side of it. I'm seeing a couple of things that maybe we could have done during our holidays or something that could have improved relations, or would have given us more time as a family together. So I think now I'm gonna look at some of these and I'm gonna try and get them in my
Never
daily
too late.
schedule. Never too late, yes.
That's good. It's never too late. It's never too
Yeah.
late. Even when you become a grandmother, you can still create time. You are
Sure.
just a student, so you have a lot of time ahead of you.
Yes.
Anybody else wants to
We
speak?
had Shrujana unmute herself. Narasa.
Okay.
Narasa is here. Narasa.
Hi.
I'm always afraid of opening my screen and unmuting myself.
Okay.
No, but I'm sorry I couldn't come in at the start of the program, and just came in only like somewhere halfway. And certainly, I think it was so enjoyable. I think what you have shared, Jamie. So one of the things which I found is in many other relationships, whether it's business or a family or a parent, is that example, like in the case of parent, most people become a parent up to the age of 25, 30, and so on. So they have already learned either in a good way or bad way, all that before they become a parent. And then they suddenly become a parent. And they only have maybe less than a year to be able to be a good parent. So, and then it becomes the rest of their life, they have to learn to be a parent. And learning to be a parent is also an ongoing job. So, seems like there is so much to unlearn, because most parents behave like how they were treated. And there is a lot of new knowledge that they need to learn because the children are in the new age. Every parent always has a child in the new age of their time. So it becomes such a big challenge. So even such knowledge and wisdom that you are speaking of just now, and which is very true, it becomes different in our children's age and how they are going to become parents to our grandchildren, isn't it?
That is the reason I do parenting workshops in a lot of places, corporates also. I do it for parents of young children, because I feel the younger they are, the more you are able to impact them if you know certain things. Because I always tell parents, to become a teacher, engineer, doctor, there's so many years of training. To become a parent, there's no training. You just by accident or by design, you become a parent. You have 9 months in which to get accustomed to the fact that you're going to become, then the child is there, and then you're using trial and error method. You try this, oh, this is not working, I'll try this, I'll try this. By the time you realize that this might be the right thing to do, the child is already grown up. And then you might, like me, if you're lucky and you have a grandson soon, you might be able to practice that on your grandchild. Otherwise, the children are already grown and you have not been able to. Otherwise, another lucky thing is I have a preschool where I'm able to use that knowledge that I have, or that what I have learned with my students and my students' parents, I'm able to share with them.
So like they say, grandchildren are God's way of giving you a second chance to be a parent.
Yes.
So parenting itself, like when you're doing coaching for parenting, that itself is like a very long process. You couldn't finish a parenting program in a few days or a
it's
few
never
weeks.
ending. It's never ending.
Yeah. So is there any simple formula to use for parents to be good parents? What is the guideline they need to follow? Some simple,
I can
5
do
kind of pointers that they need to follow to be a good parent.
So
when they go off track, they always come back to that. True or not?
I want to know for what age group, because each age that the child is in, there's a different way to deal with things. For a early childhood child, the way you deal with will be different. For a child in middle school, it's a different thing, because at each stage, the child has different requirements, different needs, and the parent has to be equipped to deal with that.
Yes, yes.
So most of us are not. We, even after the child grows up, we still treat him like a small child. When the child is young, we say, "Itna bada ho gaya, itna bhi nahi malum hai kya? Aise kaise kar diya?" When the child is young. So we parents are confusing the child. He doesn't know whether he's grown up or still a child. Sometimes we treat him, "You don't know anything. You are still a child." When it suits us. Sometimes we say, "Oh, you're so grown up now. You can't do such things. Bada ho gaya hai." So which age are you talking? Which age child are you talking about? That is my question. That's very important.
So it's a general question, and I think maybe most
One
of
of the most important things I feel, Ms. Nara, is we don't give a listening to our children.
yes,
We think, हाँ इसको क्या मालूम है? ये तो अभी इतना छोटा है, नालायक है, जो भी है. I mean, I hope you understand Hindi. I'm used to.
no, I
I'm
don't.
Hyderabadi.
I don't,
No, you don't?
but I'm just
Okay.
shaking my head. So
Okay.
sorry.
So I'll say, we think, oh, they're so young. What do they know? They're so stupid, or not stupid,
Yeah.
maybe, but what do they know? They are still very young.
True.
They wouldn't know all these things. So that is our idea about children.
Yes.
Right?
So maybe
we
one.
don't give them a listen. We don't actually listen to them.
Correct. So maybe one key success factor is listening. So that means always listen. So that's one.
And
So,
stop what you're doing and listen. Don't be, I'm doing this. Your
Focused.
son,
Yeah,
your child
focused
comes and
listening.
shares something. Your son or daughter comes, I'm listening. Yeah. Okay. If you're looking at this, I'm saying okay to him. Is that listening? Of course not. Even a small child will know that you're not listening.
Good.
Ma'am, do you want to stop your screen sharing?
Yeah, I was just trying to see how do I stop it. That's exactly what I was looking at.
There's one red button somewhere. Stop share.
That is what I'm not getting actually. Okay, let me.
Would you be so nice to share some of your slides, Kiran?
Yeah, sure. I just made it yesterday. Because all the points are here. I thought in case I forget, at least the flow should be there. I have so many presentations. I did one on parenting during COVID, because parenting
awesome.
during COVID is very challenging.
Awesome. I think I
Most
would
of
be
us
very
don't know
interested about
where to go from here.
Yes.
I don't know what's happened. I'm unable to stop share. I got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. I don't want to hold you all up, so I think it's getting late for you all. Thank you, Rajni.
No, I think we have some more time. What's the time? Almost 9:30. Yeah. Anybody else who wants to say anything?
Do we have more questions popping in? Okay, yeah, we have one from Srujana ji.
Yeah. So my question is, it was a wonderful session, and all the points that you have told is actually an ideal way of a family should function. But I would like to talk about some families who had been in a joint family and who have been dysfunctional due to various reasons, because of their mindset, image consciousness, the lack of trust in the children, and when those children grow up and become parent, uh, because of their experiences of lack of love or availability of their parents in their childhood, affects their behavior with their kids, eventually. So all these that we have spoken about, that comes as a barrier. I mean, they don't know how to go about it because they themselves have never experienced it. So how do we?
They don't know how to handle it. I'll tell you, Sujana, there is a story I had, which reminds, when you say this, it reminds me of a story. There were two people two brothers in a village. One was a very good husband, very good father, and he would do his job. So he earned well. He was doing very well. The second was a drunkard who used to beat up his wife and children. And people in the village were so surprised. Okay, why two brothers and one is this way and one is that way? So they went and asked the first brother, okay, how come you're like this? The drunkard, he said, my father was a drunkard. He used to come home and beat up my mother and both are as brothers. So that anger, there's so much anger, and I became like him because of my father. I'm like this. I said, okay. Then they went to the second brother and they said, how come you are like this? He said, because of my father. My father used to come home and beat us up. I decided I'm not going to be like my father. So it all depends on our attitude also, Srujana, how we take it. So this is something which we can learn. There might be circumstances. That's why I said in the beginning, when I said that happy families are all alike. Unhappy families are unhappy in their own way. When I said that, I meant, see, in a happy family, there might be a broken family, but whatever it is, when you create your family, you can create what you want to create. The possibility of creating anything is there. If you can put your past in the past.
But that
If you're
realization has
carrying
to
your
come.
past, you cannot. Sorry. Yeah.
Exactly. So that realization has to come from the person itself, right? So you cannot force that thing.
Got it. So, Sujana, if you want, I had put my number there. You can get in touch with. I would love to have a conversation with you because now I think others might want to leave, and I would love to take this forward if you want to. Just out of because I love helping. I mean, supporting, not helping. I'm not helping. Who am I to help you? You're not a helpless person. I just like to discuss so that you discover for yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just by listening, you're already helping, no?
Pardon?
No, I'm saying just by listening, you're already helping.
Exactly.
Thank you so much.
Important question, and yes, this is supposed to be discussed and understand well. Like joint family have a different backgrounds, which I can understand. So there are challenges for all neutral families, where joint families and single parent. There are a lot of things to understand. And as you said, by listening, what you can do is the miraculous thing. Because I feel when I listen to my child whole day, even it is not sense. But when she was 2 years old, I used to welcome her. And till now, if I'm having that attitude of welcoming her and listening to her, even on her mistakes, everything she's doing, then I tell you, there is no greater bonding than this. Because me and my daughter are like, a very close friend. She knows my in and out because she's only 14 now, but she knows my in and out. Just because of this one thing, because I always listen to her till today, like day one. For me, she's still born like today only. So I have to listen to her.
And can I add something here for Sujana and everybody else? That even if you're in a joint family, even if the people are not what you would expect them to be, I would say one thing: in who we are being, we can create a happy family there. I know, like, because I'm a part of Landmark and I've been doing it. I know people who have had almost at the point of divorce or almost at the point of the husband wife moving away from the parents, and today the mother-in-law and daughter-in-law are best friends. That is what mother-in-law did not change. It is when you change your way of looking at things, automatically things will change. See, we all look at through various glasses. If I'm wearing a glass of, okay, my mother is very bossy, for example. I used to feel like that earlier, that my mother is very bossy. She wants me to do whatever she wants me to do. Even after I got married, what did you cook? I used to get angry. Oh, why is she asking what did I cook? Does she think I won't even cook for my children? Does she think only she's a good mother? I'm not a good mother. But when I realized, when I did all these programs, I realized that it is how much love she should have to call every day and ask, what are you eating? What did your children eat? How much love should be there? When I saw that love, now we live in the same apartment. Earlier, I used to move from house to house. Whenever my mother came to live near me, I used to move from there because she's bossy. She will try to rule my life. I would move away from there. I would move like a cat with its kittens. I used to move like that. But today, we have been living in the same apartment for the past 15 years. And we have such a beautiful relationship. So it all depends on how I'm looking at it. My mother did not change. She will still ask me, did you cook? What did you cook? What did the children eat? She will still ask me. But the way I look at it now has changed. So that is what I said. So Jana, you can always, if you've noted my number, you can call me. Anytime I'm free.
We have Brinda ma'am who's raised her hand. So Brinda ma'am.
Yes, Brinda.
Yeah, sorry. Now, as long as one remains a learning parent, accepting the younger generation's point of view becomes easier. That's what I feel. And skill of listening is very, very important. Very, very important. Absolutely. Now, that's one of the important assets a few of the leaders have. Now, again, children are our assets. Now, comparison doesn't yield anything in life. Comparing, no, my nephew did so and so, he did in IIT. No, each child is different. And I am in teaching line, of course. I always tell the parents, our 5 fingers are not alike. When you follow this, it becomes easier. And regarding, you said the love is the key. Yes. Very nicely you have explained, ma'am, that what is the opposite of love? It's not. Yes, you give, and how much you give. 100% when you give, what you get is a bonus. Otherwise, it will never remain 100%. It's a wonderful thing. And if I can say for a minute, I saw a poster in one of my relatives' house. Learn to forget 2 things in life: the good you have done to others and the bad others have done to you. Because as you go through the poster, the mind will change. And I'm definitely, after reading that about 8 years back, I'm not at all judgmental. Yes, take care, fine. You do your duty without any expectation from anyone on this earth. Absolutely. That's what I feel. I don't know. I may be wrong.
No. See, there's nothing right or wrong, Brinda.
Yes.
There's nothing right or wrong. It is how we look at it.
How we
Right?
look at it. And again, the priorities for an individual will change from time to time. That, and as you said during your speech, the age group where you are makes a lot of difference. Lot of difference. See, we learn a lot. And once you remain a learning parent, because there is no age for learning, as long as you keep learning, and especially the pandemic situation, one has to upgrade the skills. Most important. Keep on telling. No, I mean, I'm in teaching, I tell the children, I can't, you knock off the T, it becomes I can. It gives a positive reinforcement for you. Okay, miss. Thank you so much for your lovely lecture. I have noted the points.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
It was my honor and pleasure.
Where are you based, Bombay or Bangalore?
Hyderabad.
Oh, my favorite place. I was there for 3 years. Okay.
Mine too.
Okay, good.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye, good
Rajvi?
night.
Good night. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Brinda, ma'am.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you so much,
ma'am.
everyone,
Thank you so
for
much.
joining in.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
For joining.
Thank you so much, Kiran, my ma'am. It was absolutely a pleasure to have you here with us. And our
Yes,
audience
yes.
had great time listening to you, learning from you. So thank you so much for giving
Thank
us
you.
your valuable time.
Thank you,
Thank you
Rajvi.
so
You
much,
have given
Brinda,
me an
ma'am.
opportunity. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Rajvi.
Thank
Very
you.
good.
Have a great weekend, all of you, and see you all next week.
Thank you. Yes, Bangalore is good.
Thank you.